in our ear, our new producer, and we forgot that you can't.
What the fuck? That just happened. Austin,
That scared me so bad.
you just ripped the microphone off of that stand. Did the secret producer tell you to do that?
Yeah,
Like,
he was talking in my ear saying, "Rip your microphone."
the producer is actually just the voices in Austin's head.
There's no producer.
Hello and welcome to the Flightless Nerd Podcast, the show that gets you up to speed on all your nerdy needs. My name is Jeremiah Larnard,
And I am Austin Bradford.
And I am Doug Pilcher.
and we are the Flightless Trio. There's more than two of us this time.
Yeah.
Which
But not
you-
quite four of us.
Not quite four of us. And you may not have known that there was only two of us last week if you're on the audio podcast, because we had some technical difficulties, and we're doing a double header this week. So you're getting last week's episode and this week's episode in the same day on Thursday. Hope you don't mind. Sorry about that. But for those of you who did see it, you probably saw it on Twitch because we record live on Twitch. We are at twitch.tv/flightless_nerd. If you go there and you type in !Discord, we actually give you a link to Discord now. Apparently, the last couple of months or however long we've been doing it, we had a bad Discord link in. So now if you go and watch our VODs, or if you're here while we're actually live, you type in Discord, we have a permalink for our Discord. So that will always get you into our Discord no matter what. Yeah, and you can come join the fun conversations we had. We've been kind of cleaning up a little bit. We have new deals channels where we kind of share all the deals that are going on in the internet. So that way, if you're looking for new games to play, we have new members initiations where it's like, hey, this is what the channel is. Here's how you get in. Here's how you do stuff. And then of course there's always the talk about video games channel, talk about movies channel, all that stuff. There's always people talking. I'm always behind. It's getting fun to be in the Discord. So please come join Discord. We will put it up on our Twitter as well. The actual link to Discord. So if you want to swing by our Twitter at Flightless News, it'll be there and you can get in there too. Also, Flightless Flicks, it's out. Go check it out because Flightless Flicks is awesome. We'll talk more about that later. Yeah, you can find that on any of your podcast service, same as you can find us on any of your podcast service. That being said, how you guys doing this night? How you doing? We doing good?
We are great. I'm ready to talk about some
doing just
video
fine.
games, all of the nerdy news of the week, as always, ready to go.
Yeah, I picked out a couple stories, but before we go to the actual news stories, we're going to do what we do every month here on Flightless News. We're going to go through a short-ish, medium-ish list of games that are coming out this month, because this releases in July. This is the last recording before July 1st. So yeah, July releases. There's a couple of big ones in here.
There's a couple.
There's a couple of good ones I'm looking forward to. Anything that's popping out that you want to talk about before we go through the list?
So obviously, looking at this, it's going to be impossible not to talk about Bounty Battle coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch and PC. So July 23rd, Bounty Battle coming out. So that's what I'll be doing. So
I honestly thought you were going to say Rocket Arena coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on July 14th. That is the battle royale game that is all rockets all the time.
wasn't what conference was that a part of? Was that part of the PS5 conference? I remember watching it and talking about it on Discord.
Me too, but I can't remember what.
I can't remember who
conference
it was
was it.
though.
Was it PS5? Oh, EA.
It was EA. Okay.
Wes
Yeah.
with the save. He is in our Twitch chat as always, and he makes sure
Okay.
we know what we're talking about because we don't. We pretend to know, but
That
we
makes. I
really
just
don't.
remember like shit talking it, and yeah, it makes sense that it was EA.
Well, we
That was
shit
cool.
talked that whole conference too, so that's there's really nothing in that
No
conference.
offense to Rocket Arena. I'm sure it'll be fun, but
Hey, if it's free, maybe I'll try check it
I'm
out.
sure it's free. It looks like a free game.
It really
But
does.
no, really, Bounty Battle is the. No, I'm just messing around. I don't actually know what that game is. I'll have to look it up later. Ghost of Tsushima, obviously for me, is the game that I'm super looking forward to. PS4 exclusive, probably the last PS4 exclusive we're going to see. The last major one we're going to see that is produced by Sony Studios. I can't think of another one that's going to be coming out. So
It,
it'll.
Avengers isn't exclusive, is it?
I don't think
No.
so. I don't think
For,
it's an exclusive. So
for some reason in my head, I thought it was, but
I don't think it is. Wes will remind us if we're wrong, but I don't think it is. So I think Ghost of Tsushima is the last Sony Studio game coming out on this generation. So I fully expect it to just be a nice little ribbon on one of the best consoles ever made. Really
you
looking
know,
forward to it.
you know what I did this weekend? I watched the state of play, the Ghost of Tsushima state of play again,
Mhm.
like the 30 minutes of hey, here's the game, all that stuff. Um, and oh my god, I forgot how good this game looks. Like because it's been a couple months since that state of play happened, and I just rewatched it, and I was just like, I want this game now. I don't want to wait 2 weeks for this game. I'm more hyped for this game than I ever was for Last of Us.
Mhm.
So um, this is just the one I've been waiting on, and then of course later this year Cyberpunk, but that's a next gen game for me now because it's coming out in November.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
So
it on next year. I'm not gonna buy it on current gen because I
well, you
plan on
can
getting a PS5 day one,
same.
and I feel like it's coming out day one of the new console. It's
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
line
have
up
to.
perfectly.
I mean, that would make sense. And but the only thing is they've announced that like, hey, if you buy it on the older system, you
Mhm.
get the upgrade for the newer system. So maybe that's late adopters of the newer
Yeah,
systems.
because there's not a small percentage of PS5 Series X owners are buying it day one. Like I'm not necessarily the majority there. Um, so I think that's what it's for. But if the game is releasing in November and the new consoles are releasing in November,
It would
there's
be
no way they're not
silly.
going to line them
Yeah.
up.
Like they've been working on it, and Wes in our chat is actually saying it's supposed to be out 2021 for the next gen. Uh, I'd be surprised. Like, and if it is, that would kind of suck because at that point it's like, well, I don't want to play it on the old system because my computers are better than the old system, and until I upgrade my GPU, the PS5 is going to be better than my computer. So it's kind of like this weird, like I gotta figure out
Well,
which
you could.
thing to put it on.
So I guess if you buy the PS4 copy and play it on the PS5, it's still supposed to be like upgraded for it, probably.
Yeah, it would download the like upres and all that stuff,
But
right?
like I'm trading in my PS4 or selling my PS4 to buy the PS5. So like
Really?
I'm not gonna have a PS4 when I buy the
Mm,
PS5.
I'll have to see the actual like, hey, here's what games will be backwards compatible or what is and what will be. When they come out with that list, then I'll make that decision. But I'm pretty sure I'll probably keep the PS4.
Mhm.
The same reason why I have a PS2 and a PS3 still is because there are still games I like to go back and play, and I can't really do that on the newer systems because
I can't
Sony
think
has.
of many games that I play on the PS4 that won't be available day one on the PS5. Just common sense wise, like really there's not a lot I don't play that I do play on the PS4 right now except for exclusives, and they're going to support all the exclusives like Bloodborne and um, Last of Us and God of
Well,
War,
yeah,
stuff like that. Like that's all going to be supported.
I'm more worried about like older-ish games as well, and also third-party games. So like me, I love Capcom games. So like Monster Hunter and Devil May Cry and all that stuff. Um, if those aren't like, I'll want to go back and be able to play my character on Monster Hunter whenever the hell I want, even though I don't do it very often. But like, I don't want to lose that game, like especially if there's not one on the PS5 soon. Like there are some games like that for me.
Hmm.
That's just all that is.
Doug, what do you think out of this list? Is there anything that's sticking out to you as something you're excited for?
Aside of Ghost of Tsushima, I'd say Paper Mario, which
Mm.
is coming out the same day on
Yeah.
Switch.
The conundrum.
That
Um,
sucks.
Doug, are you like super into the Mario games, or is this just like the next Switch title that you're like really want to try out?
I'd say the latter.
Hmm.
I'm not I'm not like I have to buy all of them, but I mean Paper Mario was a classic, and
Yeah.
them revisiting it, I'm excited to see what that looks like. I actually haven't done much with my Switch in a while,
I
so
was just thinking that. I like mine's been sitting on my living room like entryway table for a long time. It's probably dead. I just haven't touched it in a long time. So
yeah.
I'm
So
excited
this
to
is
try it again. I don't think I'm gonna pick it up for a while.
I
Paper
don't know
Mario.
that I'll pick it up like day one, but I mean, it's definitely one of the only Switch titles I've been interested in a while.
Jeremiah, you made a good when we were talking about the new Ghost of Tsushima release date, you said I'm gonna get Paper Mario first because Paper Mario will never go on sale and Ghost of
That's true.
Tsushima will eventually. But I think you changed your tune after you saw the state of play.
I did. I
So
really did. I actually pre-ordered Ghost of Tsushima, paid it in full 2 days after that state of play.
yeah.
I was just like, "Yep, gotta have it, gotta have it." And that's the thing. Like with, I also have the Switch that kind of sits around, and I try to take a little bit of time every week to play the Switch because, like, I'm still working on Smash, I'm still working on Mario Kart, and I'm still working on Donkey Kong. And they're all really fun
Hmm.
games. It's just they're bite-sized games, like, and I think it's because I'm not in the office as much anymore, because like I didn't play my Switch in the office like during open hours, but when I went to the office on the weekends, there was a lot of sitting around and waiting for stuff to get done,
Hmm.
and just kind of watching emails and stuff like that. So I would pull out the Switch and just play it at my desk because I was the only person in the office, um, and that's that's where I got most of my Switch gameplay. Like I beat Fire Emblem, just kind of once a week, playing through it and all that stuff. It took a while, but yeah, if I have like 4 hours to burn at the office where I'm just staring at a computer screen, I'd rather stare at a Switch screen. Um,
Yeah.
but it like since the whole quarantine thing, we've been working from home a lot more. And if I'm sitting on my couch and like I'm doing the same exact thing, I'm gonna like I don't know, be looking at my big screen TV with PS4. That's just kind of how I
Yeah.
am at that point. I knew I was going to be like that with with the whole Switch PS4 dynamic. I'm always going to pick the bigger console over the Switch, and that's just kind of how I am. I'm going to try and use it more as mobile, but I got plenty of games to play for now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was even talking to Doug a couple of weeks ago. I was like, "Yo, I need to maybe try Legend of Zelda again. I need to give that game a good shake." But I don't know. Like, I'm not too worried about it. I'll play it eventually, kind of thing. But
Yeah. I
it,
just so I've been on and off with my Switch a lot, but the most I played my Switch is when I was traveling, and I just am not able to travel anymore for a long time, so I just have not had any need or desire to play the Switch, especially when I've, had my PC, my PS4, and games like that. I also the type of games that come out on the Switch are just not, um the kind of games that I'm looking for right now. As I've gotten older, I've realized that in order for me to be really invested in a game, the game has to just have a top-notch narrative for me to be invested in. And most Switch games do not have like that insane level of storytelling to them.
no, like
There's a couple in there that do, but I need that right now for me to be really invested in any game. And
mm,
obviously, I'll play um, the next like proper Mario that comes out. Like I'll pick up Paper Mario eventually, and I'll play the next proper Mario will be day one, next Zelda will be day one. But those are the games that like I have the Switch for, and those are the games that get me excited for the Switch. But right now, I just if I'm playing a game, I'm usually sitting at my desk in my study, like focused on a story in a game, and the Switch just isn't meeting that need for me right now.
Yeah. And you motherfuckers convinced me to buy a Switch this entire time. You're like, buy a Switch, Jeremiah. What are you doing? Why don't you have a Switch? You'll play it all the time. And then we all kind of
That was
stopped playing
before
it.
we all got locked at home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. It's
we're
like,
all locked at home with our dogs, obviously, and just playing video games. There's no room for the Switch anymore.
um, yeah. I mean, like, I'm not actually upset that I have a Switch. Like, there are good games on it, and I will play them. I just play them in bite-sized chunks, and that's not the type of gaming I can do right now because like hell, I'm spreading too thin when it comes to games like, cuz Doug made me try out, Google Stadia,
It was all
so
my
I've
fault.
been playing a little bit of that, like I've been playing like some stuff on my phone, like trying new phone games. I've been trying new like games on the PS4 because like I found a deal and I'll talk about that later on my plate. It's just like, well, I'm just wasting time until Ghost of Tsushima comes out right now. And like I'm jumping around and I know I own these games, but like the games that I will only have for like a month or two, like I'm going to go ahead and play those first, and then by the end of that month, Ghost of Tsushima, and then they'll go away, and then I can go back after Ghost of Tsushima and figure out what I'll play after that, which will might be Switch games because you know, like I said, Donkey Kong, it's awesome. It's like Super Nintendo Donkey Kong, good, but it's just one of those games I play for like 30 minutes and I put it back down. Same with Mario Kart. It's amazing, but I'm not gonna be playing it for hours and hours on end. I just don't have the attention span for that type
Mhm.
of game anymore. Um, but enough about shit that we own and don't play. Games that are still coming out. um, I guess like the things that kind of stand out to me on this list are Death Stranding coming to PC. Uh, that's July 14th as well, as Rocket Arena. Uh,
So, real quick, like Death Stranding coming to PC,
mhm,
I'm picturing that game with mods,
mm,
and holy shit. Like
mm.
if there's like a dedicated mod community to that game, if they even allow mods, I could see them not really allowing them. Um, that would be wild.
Yeah,
You could do so many things in that game with mods. So, quick side note for that, like if that game has a full mod community, I'm definitely getting that on
it'll
PC.
be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if they actually like if the community for that game picks up because I mean it's one of those weird games that half the people love it, half the people hate it. So it's one of them things.
Half those people are PS4 owners, the other half are Xbox fanboys.
Maybe. I don't know. Is that what happened with Last of Us the last month too?
Yes.
Anyway, that Iron Man VR game's finally coming out.
I've heard nothing but good things about that. I don't have a PlayStation VR, so I can't try it out. And I have no interest in getting a VR. But
Not yet, no.
I've heard it's great from everybody that's had their hands on it. So keep an eye out for that if you have a VR headset for PlayStation. Check it out.
I mean, I'd play it. I would
Yeah.
definitely play Iron Man VR. Catherine Full Body coming to the Switch finally, July 7th. That is one of those uh that's one of those games that uh basically it's a puzzle weird Japanese s sort of game, but everybody who's played it has said it's amazing. So that's just if you're into weird pseudo horror, pseudo weird puzzle games, might be for you. Check it out. There's plenty of reviews. It's been out forever, but
Yeah.
it's finally coming to Switch,
Mhm.
July 7th. Trying to see.
I mean, the big one probably is Skater XL is having its official release on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on July 28th. John will finally be able to play the game. He's been talking about it forever, and he'll finally actually be able to play. He's just been pretending like he's been playing it
Oh yeah.
this whole time. So
As John would say, I'll give the John announcement for Skater XL. If you're looking for a good, realistic skateboarding game, um, pick it up now because you can get early access on Steam for like $14 or something like that. Because once it comes out on July 28th, it'll be $40. So you can get it, and you'll get the full game now, as opposed to only part of the game and then have to repay for it later. It's basically, if you buy it now, you get it on sale, as opposed
yeah,
to
he's
doing
been
it later.
raving about it. So if you're a skater and you want a realistic skating sim, he swears by it. I know nothing about skating, so I can't speak to it, but check it out.
I played a little bit of it when I was over at his house. It's weird, but I mean, like, any new game with new controls is always weird until you play it, So he loves it, and he loves it so much. He said he can't go back to Skate 3 anymore because he played Skate 3 at my house for a little bit. And he's like, I didn't like it as much as Skater XL. So that's how good this game is for John. He is the skateboarding aficionado, and he thinks it's better than Skate 3. So take
Impressive.
that for what you will. Another one, Destroy All Humans. I think it's a remaster, right?
I thought this
Um,
came out a while ago.
well, it did for like PS2.
No, but like I've had this on something. I don't know what
Mm.
it was, but
Well, it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC July 28th.
maybe
It's
they've
a
just been
remake.
talking about it getting remastered for a long time. But I
Maybe,
feel like
but
this has been like somewhere before. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
uh,
Coming out July 28th.
if you haven't played Destroy All Humans, why? It's actually really funny, really fun game. And it's cathartic,
Yeah.
especially in this day and age.
I
Anyway,
played it. I remember I was at uh Revan in the Discord. I was at his house like as a child playing this game. That's the
uh,
last memory I have of it, but I had nothing but good memories from playing it. It was really fun, being an alien and levitating cows and trying to destroy all humans. Yeah, definitely good. If you haven't checked it out, definitely you should definitely play it.
my favorite was the gun that made people's brains explode.
Yeah, that's a gun. Yeah.
Like, well, you could, like, if you held it on them, like, you could make them do whatever you wanted. Like, it was like a mind control thing. But like, if you held it down, kind of like the taser in Siphon Filter, if you held it down for too long, like with the taser, they would set on fire, and it's hilarious. But with this one, it actually makes their brains explode. It's fun
Good,
times.
wholesome fun.
Good wholesome fun. Was this an M-rated game? This wasn't an M-rated game. This was a T-rated game, right?
I mean, I don't
I think it was
remember.
like goofy.
I feel like I wasn't supposed to be playing it, so it might have been M-rated.
Might have been.
According to Game Informer's picture, it's rating pending, so I don't know.
Hold on. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, July is, there's some major releases coming out, but not like a ton. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima is a major release. I wouldn't put Paper Mario, honestly, as like a major Switch release. It's gonna sell a lot
Really?
of copies. But yeah, have you seen a ton of like advertising about it? I haven't seen anything, and it comes out in a couple of weeks, so
Yeah, they had it
that feels weird to me.
for that Nintendo thing, and you're like, by the way, it's coming soon. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't heard much about it. I haven't heard a lot of hype about it. Take that for what you will, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not super excited about it. I mean, that's overshadowed obviously by Ghost of Tsushima. I wonder if they were kind of pissed that Ghost of Tsushima moved their release date to the day of Paper Mario. Um, because it was originally supposed to come out a couple of days before The Last of Us, and then they moved it back a month.
Bastards.
I'm glad they did. Can you imagine Tsushima and The Last of Us 2 coming out like within the same week? That would have sucked for both of the games. It would have hurt the sales for both of them. So
You think so? You think that's the same audience?
PlayStation,
I
yeah,
mean, just because it's an exclusive, it's the same audience.
I think so.
Fair enough.
I mean, if you have a PS4, you're getting The Last of Us 2 and Tsushima. I
Well, it
mean,
depends on how young you are, but yeah,
that's true.
maybe that's.
I'm getting them because I'm a PlayStation owner. Like I'm that demographic. I'm the PlayStation owner that's gonna get every studio exclusive. So I've had a
Right.
lot of good runs with I've just been going back and replaying studio exclusives for a while.
I was this close to replaying God of War the other day. I was
I'm
just like,
gonna
do
I'm
I
gonna
need to
give
be
that
there or
another
not?
year before I pick it up, I think. Just to give
Oh,
myself like a couple of years separation from it.
I just want to play it on the new TV. That and Spider Man.
Oh. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
haven't played it in 4K yet, you
haven't
should
yet.
play it.
Hmm. Maybe after I beat Ghost.
Anything
Anyway,
else to say about these upcoming releases? No?
mm,
I
Forever
got
hold your
nothing.
peace. All right. This next story is a little bit heavier topic than what we usually cover, but I felt like it was important and it was requested from a
mm,
listener. So more pressure and incentive to talk about it because it's an important topic to talk about. So we should just cover it. There's been a lot of sexual harassment allegations surrounding the gaming industry, and it's kind of made everyone um, take a second look at everything that's been going on for years in the gaming industry. It's really been no secret that women have been treated unfairly and downright abhorrently for a long time, especially in the gaming industry. And there's been a lot of women coming out courageously and talking about those incidents where they've been either sexually harassed or in some cases sexually assaulted. So I thought it was important to talk about it and make it known that like we all of us think that any kind of misogynistic behavior is gross and should definitely not be happening. What's your guys' take on what's happening in the gaming industry right now?
it's sad.
Mhm.
It's sad that this is still happening. Even in any industry, let alone the gaming industry. Um, like it's kind of like when we reread the story about Riot Games. You remember that back in the day? I think we talked about it last year. Like Riot Games, there was like
Yeah,
there's
like
dudes
just
farting in women's faces and shit.
such
Like,
gross behavior happening,
yeah,
like and just happening in broad daylight and nothing becoming of it.
because they're just kind of like this is how it is. And I think that's what makes me sad about it is because
Hmm.
people do these things. They'll say horrible things to women or just coworkers in general. Or they'll touch people that don't want to be touched or any of the things that have been kind of brought up in these articles. Um, and they think it's okay, they think it's like the 50s, like, smacking a girl on her butt and going, at a girl, or something
Hmm.
like that. I mean, I don't know what people do to sexually harass people. Like, I only do it to you guys, so I don't know what they do to women. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like, it's just weird that it's still such a problem. It seems like we're reading a story like this, whether it be video games or any other, like, insert company name or insert, industry name. Like, we just have these stupid ass problems of people going, hey, um, maybe you shouldn't treat women like shit. And like, it takes the public eye to kind of shift focus for anything to happen in these situations. Like,
Hmm.
it wasn't until women started speaking up on Twitter and some people started noticing that people started getting laid off, or start getting kicked to the curb. And it's weird to me, like why is this tolerant, or why is this attitude, or why are these attitudes or these actions tolerated in any industry, and especially in the gaming industry, because it does seem prevalent in the gaming industry. And that's why we always say gamers are terrible people.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, we're gamers, but I tell people don't ever call yourself a gamer. It's
Yeah.
not a good look on the outside.
Yeah. I mean, gamers have been notoriously awful for a very long time. I mean, a lot of this just stems from the fact that men have been in charge of the gaming industry for a very long time. And when that happens, and you're surrounded by, for a long time, gaming in general was surrounded by men, or at least thought to be surrounded by men. So those comments were considered appropriate because you were surrounded by your peers of men who you weren't, actually sexually harassing. But, as women became more involved in the gaming industry and people started to realize that, oh, women actually like video games, I think it's taken a long time for people that have been in the industry to understand that. And a lot of them are taking exception to that because they feel like like this is their territory and women need to step off. That's gross, obviously, and it's
Mm-hmm.
bullshit, and no one should
Yep.
obviously think that ever. Um, I just think that we're in a day and age where I'm glad that women are starting to speak out and tell their side of the story, so that we have those stories out there, because I think a lot of it was just that you know it was just okay for so long to act a certain way, and it's now being made clear that, yo, this is not okay, this is not how we're going to be acting anymore, the status quo is changing. And I hope that's enough to persuade these companies to really crack down on any type of sexual harassment or discrimination against women. And it really stems from, we need to put more women in charge of companies, and women needed to be paid as much as men. Women need to be promoted as often as men. Um, the more women that are in charge of these companies, the less that this is going to be considered status quo. And I think that's where we need to start, and that's what we need to be working towards.
Yeah. There have been some pretty big shakeups because of this. Like a lot of Twitch streamers and YouTube streamers have just been outright just canceled. Like, and I don't say canceled in the SJW sense, but like, hey, they admitted that they did this crap and it's on video for people to see. So Twitch is like, nah, you're done. And they get banned. And then the streamers have to go and apologize for, you know, it was wrong to touch somebody sexually without consent. Well, you fucking think? God damn! Like, how did you not know that to begin with? Um, yeah, and that's what pisses me off. It's like people think they can go back after all this happens, whether they get banned or whatever, and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that." It's like, motherfucker, get out of here. Like, you thought it was okay to grab some girl's ass or titty, without like her saying, "Hey, grab my ass or titty." Like, no, you can't do that shit. Like, and just because you're a dude and she's a girl doesn't give you free reign to do whatever the hell you want. Um, and it's not just Twitch streamers, like they're talking about in our chat right now. One of the Ubisoft guys, the creative director of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, literally had to step down because people were like, uh, "Hey, he's doing things he shouldn't do with women and stuff," and he's like, "Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have done that." And it's like, God damn, dude, like you're in a position of power, fucking shape up, man. Like,
Mhm.
uh I don't know, like there's a bunch of esports people. Like this hit World of Warcraft pretty freaking hard. Uh like, and that's how it got sent to me, is because the person who sent me the story and was like, "Hey, you guys need to talk about this." He's a huge World of Warcraft guy. And he's like, "Yeah, it's like lots of World of Warcraft people just getting fan hammered, and getting fucking cut because they're all this sexual harassment stuff is just snowballing and everybody's getting caught in the crossfire if you've done anything wrong, which you should. If you've done anything wrong, stop being an asshole. Like, it's like fucking own up to it before somebody goes, "Hey, you were an asshole like 5 years ago," or something like that. Be like, "Look, I fucking did this. I'm not proud of it, and take yourself off of center stage. Don't fucking wait till somebody else takes you off of center stage. I know that's tough. Because fucking I'm telling people, hey, find a new way to make a living. Because you don't deserve to be on this platform. You know, you don't deserve to be an influencer if you're influencing people with poor behavior. That's my take on it. Like, if somebody brought to my attention, it's like, hey, you did this, like, I'd be like, all right, man, I'm stepping out. I'm not part of Flightless Nerd anymore. Like, I wouldn't wait till like it became a thing.
Right.
Like,
Well, I think a
um,
lot of it is that these people that have shown this behavior don't see anything wrong with what they've been doing. Um, and typically, when the allegations are brought forth and there's backlash, they kind of they go to the generic like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this. That was bad. This is why I did it," and they don't mean what they're saying. Like there's no actual remorse for what they did. They're just trying to like get through the incident because they don't actually understand how what they did was wrong. It's just it. I think Katie in the chat. I think it's important to bring out a female voice in this conversation. Like she said exactly what needs to happen. Men need to step up against other men that are being awful to women. Like, because if women step up, they are being too dramatic or they misinterpreted what was happening. And typically, if men step up, they're also pushed aside. But it's more important for men to step up to other men because those men are not going to listen to women. They typically hate women, so they're not going to understand where they're coming from or their points. It's on us as men to really change the narrative around that and call other men out for being awful. So that's hard to do, and like that's something that we all have to look in on ourselves and um, see, are we doing that? Like be honest with ourselves. Are we doing that? Are we able to do that? What does that look like? But that's a conversation that we all need to be having.
yeah. And Doug, I just want you to know you have my permission to sexually harass me whenever you want. You have my consent, sir.
It's important.
All right, I'll file that away.
Just letting you know.
I've
Like, consent's
already
important.
filed that under HR, so
Do we have an HR department?
I don't know. Probably my wife or something. I don't know. We'll figure that out.
It would totally be the wives, wouldn't it? Like, would keep me away from HR department at all costs,
The
apparently.
Flightless Nerd HR department scares me.
um, yeah, like it's it's a tough subject to talk about, mostly because we're men and we have no idea. We have no idea. Like, I just like I can sit here and be like, I'm pissed that this happens, but I've never had somebody like come on my stream and be like, oh, you're this ethnicity, so you're like a lesser person, and it's the same for women. It's the same for people of color. It's the same for anybody who has an accent, like hell, we were talking about like 2 weeks ago fucking all the racist shit that was happening, on Twitch and in Epic and all that shit. And they're like, we're trying to crack down on it. It's like, maybe you should do a better fucking job as opposed to like wait until everybody kind of points their guns at you and it's like, hey, yo, by the way, we're trying to deal with all this racist shit. And it seems to be a problem here in your community. Like Rockstar's having a huge problem with it. Like Epic's having a huge problem with it. It's like, how come this is still a big problem? Like you'd think this would be easier. Like if they have the N word somewhere in their username, you should probably permaban their IP address. Maybe. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean that's the thing. Companies like this look at each user as a dollar figure and not as like a human. Like, do
Yeah.
we want this human on our platform? They're looking at it as, do we want this subscription on our platform? And of course, they always want the subscription on their platform, no matter what. So I don't know if there's a right answer for any of that, but I know that getting the right people in charge of decisions goes a long way. So
Well, speaking of making money for a platform or game or anything like this, another thing that happened that we don't have all the information on, kind of in this realm of people getting banned for weird shit or bad shit. Dr. Disrespect no longer on Twitch. That's also one of these. Is like, what the hell's happening here? Because nobody said anything. He's just gone. Um, and like people have been trying to like speculate what it is, and I guess we can kind of speculate about it too. But whenever a big streamer like that goes away, it's usually something to do with legal ramifications, not necessarily they said a bad thing. Because if you say a bad thing and you're big enough, cough, cough, PewDiePie, you get to stick around,
Yeah.
because you're making enough money for these companies.
Yeah.
S-
I mean, I don't want like it would probably be irresponsible for us to like speculate on why, and I don't care. He was probably had something to do it has something to do with something criminal. Like, that's the only thing I can think of as to why Twitch would not comment and he is not commenting and giving, like, these reasons. I don't know why it was permanently banned. Um, that's BS. Like, there's no way you're permanently banned as one of the top streamers on Twitch and you haven't found out the reason for being banned. Bullshit, don't give me that.
mm,
To be fair, Twitch does not often give reasons for banning people publicly. Um, so that you could maybe brush aside, but this is a big enough streamer that I feel like his viewers and his subscribers would be owed an explanation morally. Like, you morally owe his subscribers and paying customers an explanation as to why he is no longer on Twitch. You have to release that unless you are legally unable to release it, which is only for a criminal investigation. So that is why I have decided that it is probably something criminal. As if it's related to sexual misconduct or something else entirely, I do not know, and I won't speculate on that. But I it's got to be bad. Like, he's in
mm,
some deep shit.
yeah, yeah. Should be interesting as news rolls out, and we will probably talk about that news as more of it rolls out because I like talking about interesting stories. So thank you, Jeremy, for sending in the request to do a story that we probably, wouldn't have had as much cognitive awareness of, without people bringing this stuff up. So if you are interested in saying, "Hey, talk about this," obviously we will because we have opinions on these sort of things. So hit us up on our Twitter or find us on our Discord and suggest stuff, because we're always looking for stuff that people want to hear about, not necessarily what we want to talk about. Yeah. That being said, should we go to something a little bit lighter? Little bit lighter.
Yeah,
Um,
send us into it.
yeah. So Xbox, Microsoft, they make consoles. They're making a new console, and we're still trying to figure out what new games are going to be for it, what it entails, like price and all that stuff, and if they're going to do a digital only console, kind of like PlayStation's doing.
Mhm.
We have got new rumors and leaks about what Xbox might reveal this month. So we'll know by the end of the month whether these rumors and leaks are true. So bear with us if they're not. We're just reporting on rumors and leaks. The first one being the Xbox Series X reveals, or Xbox is revealing an Xbox Series S, which will be a digital, I think, dumbed down version of the new Xbox. And it's supposed to be like ridiculously cheap. Like it's supposed to be $200 or $300 cheap, um, which is huge if that's the case. Because that's like Switch territory for a full on console. What do you guys think? Yes, no, maybe, indifferent?
I mean, the audio listeners can't see my face, but I'm just like, bullshit. There's no way. that you're releasing a next gen console, even if it's dumbed down a little bit at $200, either 200 to 300. Either that thing is a current gen console that can play next gen games, or that price point is wrong. It's just not going to happen. Um, in which case, it's weird that they're releasing a second SKU that is all digital, that is dumbed down, when PS5 is releasing a non-dumbed down all digital version of their console. So,
Mm. And
terrible marketing. I understand the logic to make it cheap, but the
mhm.
marketing around it sounds really bad.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Doug?
I mean, it's got to be. I think Austin was right. Like, it's not just sort of dumbed down. It's got to be much less powerful
Mm.
if it's going to be half the cost of the Series X, which is the rumor that it would be half the cost. And the rumor is the Series X would be 400, leading to a supposed $200 price point there. But
The
yeah,
se-
and I think it's ridiculous that they're even dumbing it down, whereas we have Sony who's doing the whole all digital diskless thing, which is just the same system without a disk drive.
yeah.
But I guess if the whole idea is to undercut Sony, then they're gonna do that, I guess.
But they're already doing that if supposedly the Xbox Series X is going to be 400. Like there's no way the PS5 is going to be $400. Like that's just it's just
No
not
way
going to happen.
there's no way the Series X is gonna be $400. There's no.
So, you put the Series X at 600 just like the PlayStation and then you have the Series S as 300. It's like, okay, well, maybe a $300 system is more appeasing to people who are trying to get into the console space. Like, yeah, the Switch is out there, but like it's not an Xbox, it's not PlayStation. So I don't know. Like I could see it kind of working just from the perspective of not everybody has a bunch of money to throw at one of these consoles. Um, and 300 is kind of the sweet spot for a new console, like for hey, people are willing to buy this. Like the Switch sells like gangbusters. It's $300.
Pair that up with the Game Pass. That's
Yeah, I
pretty good
mean,
combo.
yeah, like it's almost like "Oh, I might buy that too. Especially if they're going to pump all of their resources into Game Pass, which they have been doing, and then you have the streaming as well. They might make it where it doesn't need to be a full-on system with the X Cloud coming out, where it's just like, hey, you're streaming from our servers, so you can still get 4K even on your Xbox Series S. Like if they package that all as one marketing ploy, this thing might take off like gangbusters.
So it just runs counter to their marketing ploy up to that point, which is like we're selling the most powerful consoles that you can buy. Like we are more powerful than Sony. That's the reason that you're going to buy an Xbox is we're more powerful. Um, it lends to an idea that I had been talking about like for the last year of like they might have just given up on the console war, where they're
Mm.
not trying to compete with Sony anymore. Like they just given that up. We're going to lose to Sony in console sales every year, every generation. Like that Sony is better at making this next gen console. Like what we're gonna do now is focus on the gamer experience or whatever, or our X Cloud or Game Pass or whatever. Um, and they're just, you know, that is what they're focused on. They've given up on the console war, kind of like Nintendo has given up on the console war. They're just making consoles, but they're not involved in the console war. And Sony's just going to be this entity that's like the best console, obviously. You buy the Sony console if you want the best one, but if you're a gamer, for a casual gamer or whatever, like you get the Xbox. The audience is probably wider in that respect. So, especially if it's cheaper. So, maybe that's what they're shooting for now.
I will believe that argument Um, if all of the Xbox exclusive games are also on PC. That would make sense. Like if they're like, look, you can get it on PC, like, but you have to have Xbox Game Pass or whatever. You gotta buy it through a store. I mean, they're still making money. It's still a Windows game. You know,
Mhm.
and then it's like, yeah, they don't care. But if they make like full on exclusive Xbox games, then in my brain they're still trying to.
I can't think of any Xbox exclusives that are not coming to PC as well. Like I can't think of one that they would release that won't be on PC. Because I think the new Halo is probably going to be on PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
So I mean, they've already set the framework for that by announcing all of the previous Halos coming to PC within the next year. So I think Infinite will probably be on PC as well. So I
Yeah,
mean, I
and
don't.
and that's what I'm saying. Like if every Xbox game that comes out is also on PC, like that really gives people a lot of leeway to go. I don't need to buy an Xbox. I'm just gonna download the Xbox app and play Game Pass on PC. Which is, if they're pushing people towards that, then good on them because they're gonna make a lot of money on the Xbox. Just in general, like brand, and if they are like truly going, we only care about the brand, we don't really care about consoles anymore, then yeah, I agree with you. But I mean, if they're like, later, and we're going to talk about the lineup here soon, but they're supposed to have hey, these are our first party titles, yada yada. um here's here's like the games that are coming out and they're only on Xbox, they're not on PC, then I'll be like, oh well, yeah, they're gonna you know, force it to be on Xbox, then yeah, totally. But if it's on PC as well, no point in buying an Xbox now, is there? Especially if you're, have a rig like we do. I don't know. It's just an interesting thought process on to
Mhm.
why they would drop drop one that's half the price.
There is definitely some credence to what Doug said, the cheaper price point combined with the Game Pass. I have multiple times considered buying the cheap version of the Xbox One with Game Pass. I've thought about it many times, but the reason I haven't pulled the trigger is that typically all the games that are on Game Pass for console eventually make their way to Game Pass for PC as well. So I haven't had any real incentive to do it. The only reason I would have done it is for the Halo games, and those are all coming to PC.
Mm,
So
yeah.
there's some argument there if you don't have a PC, especially just to get the cheap console and
Yeah, get a $300 console, or even the newer console or the bigger console, because if it's only going to be 500 or $600. It's
Mm.
like better than spending 2 grand on a PC like most people do.
Indeed, it is. Were there any other rumors, or was it just the one?
There are more rumors. There's a rumored list of the games they're going to talk about in their first party stream. So we all know that Microsoft is going to have a hey, here's our first party games, because they had our third party games, which was like very lackluster, and that was a couple of months ago, and people were like, I don't like this. But Xbox said, in a couple of months, we're going to have our first party stream and we're going to show you everything that's coming out from our studios. And there is a rumored list floating around on Twitter. It actually took me a little bit to find the actual list, but I knew it was out there. And here are the games. Stop me if you want to talk about anything
Okay.
in general. The July event details. Setsuna Saga Hellblade 2 is getting a story trailer, so we're going to see more on that game. We already know it's coming out.
Mm.
Uh, there will be an announcement trailer for Forza Motorsport 8. It is saying it is an Xbox console exclusive, native to 4K, 120 frames per second, and ray tracing included. So it's going to be beefy like all the other next gen games.
The
Uh,
the obligatory racing game for the console reveal.
I mean, PlayStation had GT, so
That's why I said obligatory racing game.
and honestly, I like Forza. I like Forza a little more than I like GT. Not gonna lie.
Fonder memories of GT, mostly because I haven't played Forza until the most recent one.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Like I love GT, but like I just end up playing more Forza. I think it's just got that, especially Horizon. It's got that mix of arcadey in there. Here's a big one: Fable reboot trailer.
Okay,
Photorealistic graphics, 4K 60 FPS. Very big world to discover. Also, will not have any loading on the Xbox Series X, and it's talking about coming fall of next year.
so when you're talking about the only exclusive title that Xbox could announce to make me interested, it's Fable.
Same.
Uh,
There
so
it is.
that's the one. I'm
That's
very
it.
interested in a Fable. I'm a little disappointed that it'll be fall of 2021 before it would come out. That I feel like you would want that to be a launch title if you want to sell your console.
If it-
Maybe I'll get an Xbox in fall 2021.
Yeah, there you go. You got an extra year to save for it.
The rumors I've heard on this game are that it is not set in Albion anymore, so it is a full-on reboot. It's just because Lionhead Studios no longer exist. It's just the IP, so it really could be anything.
Still be
In
fantasy.
the Fable world.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if that's true or not, because there hasn't, like, other than like rumors and like people going, yeah, it's
Who's
totally
the,
happening, like
who's the
side
guy in
note.
charge of that? Is that Peter Molyneux? Is that who's in charge of it? Is he
He
still
was.
heading the project?
No.
Did they say? Or theoretically, did they say?
No, because he was the head of Lion Head, and they got disbanded. So I don't think he is doing that anymore.
Be interesting.
He was doing Dreams, wasn't he? Or is that no? That was Medium Molecule.
Mhm.
I thought he went over to Sony.
The
Maybe I'm
last I heard
crazy.
from Peter Molyneux is he was talking about Fable, so I don't know what he's doing now.
Fable Legends, which got canceled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that like 4v1 evolve style game, and everybody's like, no. Anyway, yeah, that's a big one. If that's true, that's huge. That's something
That's
that's something.
that's literally the only one I can think of that is an established IP that would bring me into it.
There's one or two
So
more
we
in
can
here.
just move on now, right?
Right. Halo Infinite story trailer plus multiplayer gameplay, so we'll actually get to see that game in action as opposed to, hey, it's a game.
Mhm.
Um, Outer Worlds DLC trailer, which, duh.
Okay.
Grounded release trailer. So Grounded is a thing, but I don't know what it is. Wasteland 3 release trailer. I feel like we've already seen Wasteland 3, like at E3 last year. Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe.
Um,
So many like those post-apocalyptic wasteland games. It's hard to remember what you've seen.
yeah. Gears Tactics, Xbox One release date announced and trailer. Because that's already out. No,
PC, yeah.
yeah,
You
it's
can get
out on
that
PC.
Game Pass right now if you want.
Um, Compulsion Games Contrast 2 announcement trailer. And a Noir.
Was a wasn't that a PS exclusive last time? It was one of the first games on the PS4 for the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a PlayStation exclusive. So I think it was an exclusive. It might not have been, but it was definitely on PS Plus. I played a lot of it. So Contrast 2, that's interesting.
Yeah, noir puzzle-based horror game. So take that as you will. It's going to show the SSD power, so apparently it's going to be real fucking hype. But they're talking about that coming in 2022. Perfect Dark reboot. This one came out of left field.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
apparently there's an announcement teaser, so maybe they're working on another Perfect Dark, which was basically the spiritual successor to GoldenEye
Mhm.
back in the day. I mean, it's possible because Rare's owned by Microsoft.
Yeah. They'd
So,
be they'd be in that realm.
Double Fine will have a game called Iron Brigade 2.
Okay.
It's a live service PvP game. So Woo. Minecraft Dungeons Jungle Awakening release trailer and new DLC announcement. So Minecraft Dungeons Jungle Awakening came out today.
Yeah, I mean,
recently.
Minecraft Dungeons came out like a month ago, and I don't know
Yeah,
about
the
Jungle release or whatever, but
yeah. Everwild gameplay trailer. Not a clue what that is. Know what this is? Battletoads. It's getting a trailer. Maybe it will look much different than previous trailers. Probably it has two graphic options: cartoon style and original like. So remaking Battletoads. That's
okay,
all right.
good.
Let's do it. Tell Me Why is getting a trailer. The Medium is getting a gameplay trailer. We saw the Medium at the third party thing, right? Or
I
was that
don't remember.
first party games on the Xbox One on Series X? So stuff that's getting ported with better graphics, I guess. Sea of Thieves, Gears 5, Minecraft, The Outer Worlds, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Forza Horizon 4. Those are, yeah, backwards compatibility trailer. It'll show how old games look on the new Xbox, so they'll have that. Which, yeah, that makes sense. That's
Mhm.
kind of a given. Especially if they're going to have all the games backwards compatible or whatever they said they were going to do. The Astronauts, new member of Xbox Game Studio from Poland. That's an interesting development studio name. Witchfire 4K trailer. It's a cross-gen game. Witchfire.
Okay.
Not a clue what that is. New Japanese studio has been created, and they are rumored to have a Lost Odyssey remake. That's
The
interesting.
Lost Odyssey. Why is that familiar?
That was on Xbox 360, and that was an Xbox 360 game that was 4 disc long, and it was an RPG, a Japanese RPG. So it's stuff I played. I played it.
I don't think I played it.
It was
I don't think I played it, but I think I have the disc for or the box
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. Like if they actually do a remake of that or a reboot of that, that's something I'm super interested in because that world was very cool. It was like the first real next gen Japanese RPG, like for the PS3 and Xbox 360. Uh, Crossfire X Story CGI trailer. Control on Series X, so Control's coming to Series X apparently. And last but not least, Crisis Remaster on the Series X.
Oh, it's gonna
So
run
the
Crisis.
so the game that nobody could run is getting a remaster, which will apparently work on the Series X.
We'll see.
Like that was the thing about that game. It came out with specs that were too high for
Nobody
even.
could play it.
Yeah, like the
But
graphics
can it
cards were
run
worn out all the
Crisis?
time. Yeah, but can it run Crisis? It was like a 10-year long joke.
I don't even know if my PC could run Crisis.
It's coming back
Not at
around.
full specs, it couldn't. Oh
I don't
man.
know.
Now it's coming back to Xbox Series X. It's gonna be on a console. That's fucked up. You could never be on a console back in the day. That came out in the PS3 era,
It must
right?
be a strong console. I think I'm gonna get it. But anyway, I'm not interested by much of anything that you just said, other than if Fable's a thing, I'd be interested in it. If I hope it comes to PC.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Really, fingers crossed because
For
it's
just the
Fable, man.
one, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
That's
I wouldn't buy an Xbox for it, but that's cool if they're making another Fable.
I built my first PC as a senior in high school to be able to play Fable 1 on a PC.
Oh, really?
That was the first time I ever bought a PC because I tried to play it on my dad's PC, which was just like a run of the mill crap PC, and it would not run. And I was like, gotta build a PC that can run this game. I gotta play Fable. It was 5 disc long. You had to download the whole thing disc by disc. And,
Classic.
Why didn't you
I
just download it on Steam like I do now?
I don't know how that worked back then, man. But yeah, like I
In
played that
what,
game.
2002? I think is when we decided it came out.
Something like that. Yeah, but I played the crap out of Fable back in the day. That was one of my favorite games.
2004.
I borrowed my friend's Xbox um, so that I could go home and play Fable because he showed it to me, and I begged him if I could borrow his Xbox for the night because I had to play this game
Mm-hmm.
more.
Yep.
It was so impressive. I,
Man,
that's
Fable.
one of my first video game memories. Actually, is playing Fable.
First video game memory for me. Well, it's actually Mario 3, but
But
no,
yeah, my first memory of video game memory is much farther back. But one
I
of
was
my
like,
favorite memories
my
is
favorite
Fable.
memories. I was about to say my first memory is sitting next to my cousin, clicking or pushing the shift button to shoot on Doom while he moved the character around. That's
Nice.
how we rolled back in the day. That's my first video game memory. Yeah, like fucking. I mean, it's a good lineup, and Fable is really got my attention. I really hope it's not just rumors. I hope it's like, yeah, there's actually Fable again, because it's been 10 years since Fable 3, right? It came out in 2010.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a long time since Fable 3, but did you like Fable 3?
I
Because
did.
I liked it, but looking back on it, I feel like I'd be very bored playing it.
Fable 1 and 2 better.
Yeah.
The problem with Fable 3 is you can break it. And I say that because the whole point of it is like you're supposed to make decisions whether uh like the people love you and you save the world, or the people love you and you may not save the world, or the people hate you but you end up saving the world. Like it was supposed to be a tough like
Well,
decision for you to make.
there was actually no in between. Like it was either the people love you and they all die, or they all hate you and they live. Like there
But
was
the
no way to like get behind that. But you could game it where you would just have enough money to like
Yeah, like
spend.
basically, if you just started the game out by going, all right, I'm gonna buy retail or real estate as soon as I can, and you buy every single real estate location in the game, you just have enough money to do all the good decisions, like make sure everybody loves you, and then just pay off the debts, with
Yeah.
the real estate. It's like, all right, well, I am your king and your landlord for every single person in the game, but everybody's happy and the world's saved. You're welcome. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how I played that game. And the thing that made me upset is when you like progressed in the skill tree ish area, like whatever outfit you were wearing, was like the statue for the next like level you
Mm.
got. And like I would always be like in the middle of a quest where I had to wear like a stupid ass outfit when I got the level up. So like it's like, oh, for the first level I'm wearing a chicken suit, and the next level I'm cross dressing. I'm like, I just want to be in my armor for all these things. My armor's cool now, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I played that one. I want to play it on PC again, but it's just not available
Yeah,
on
Fable 1's the
PC.
best though. Fable,
Uh,
that's what they need to do. They need to re-announce it and then be like, "Oh, by the way, you can buy all 3 trilogy. Here you go, $40." I'd buy that. I'd buy the trilogy for $40 in a
oh
heartbeat.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's Xbox.
any other news that you guys heard this week that you might want to talk about that we didn't talk about?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Uh so that being said, that was the news. Thank you for listening to us ramble about the random subjects and rumors and game releases. But now it's time for your favorite part of the show and Austin's favorite part of the show and my favorite part of the show. I don't know if it's Doug's favorite part of the show because he's never said it out loud. What's on your plate? That being said, Doug, what's on your plate?
Uh, not a lot because work's been very busy this week. And I realized I wasn't here last week, so I was trying to remember what I did last week too, but all I could remember was that I watched Sonic. I watched Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, you finally watched
The
Sonic.
movie.
That's
The,
right.
the
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
Oh yeah, I did see you say something in Discord about that, right? Like,
yes.
what are your opinions?
I thought it was great. It is a very good movie. They
Told you.
definitely redeemed themselves after all of the backlash early
Mhm.
on.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a great video game movie. I thought Jim Carrey was awesome. Like it was
Very
just perfectly Jim Carrey without being obnoxious Jim Carrey.
yeah, yeah.
Um, fit the role very well, or he made the role fit himself very well.
I mean, like, you
Um,
don't think Jim Carrey when you see Dr. Robotnik, but by the end
right.
of it, you're like, "Oh, I'm sold on them wanting to if they wanna do more of these movies
There
with
is a
him as the
sequel
bad guy."
in development.
Yay!
Yes, that's already a
Yay!
thing.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, the movie's great. Yeah, like, I watched it in theaters because I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go support this movie all after all the shit it got." And it was, it was one of the times that I went to the theaters and did not mind spending the money on a full price movie. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
finally got
and
to check it out.
I I bought it because
Mm,
it was $5 to rent or on sale for $10 to buy, and I was like, well, if I want to watch this one more time, then I
yeah.
might as well just buy it now. So I own that. We'll probably watch it again at some point. If it's even one that I like my 3-year-old daughter would enjoy. Like it's nothing too over the top, um, but nothing too childish. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Um, in a similar vein, I also watched Detective Pikachu. That was
Th-
also surprisingly good. It was
It's on my list. I have it in my queue. I just haven't watched it yet.
I enjoyed it. If you have the time, yeah, check it out. I don't think you're missing a whole lot, but I definitely enjoyed it.
I do tonight.
Some good twists.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Have you Austin? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, you were making faces. I thought you'd seen it.
I was just being intrigued.
There was, I think, like the big reveal at the end is kind of broadcast pretty early, or you could see it coming a long way, but there are still some other good story points that caught me off guard. It was a good watch.
All I remember
Um,
is I saw Mewtwo in the trailer,
mhm.
and that's why I wanted to watch the movie because Mewtwo is my
Mewtwo
favorite
is in it.
Pokemon. Hmm.
You'd enjoy it if you're yeah. I mean, if you're a Pokemon fan, you'll enjoy it. The live action Pokemon are definitely very creepy. Um,
As you would
I
assume
think
them to be.
I think the weirdest one, or the one that caught me most off guard, was Snorlax because he's like fuzzy. Like I
I guess that
never
makes
imagined
sense.
Snorlax having hair, but he's like Sully from Monsters Inc.
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Snorlax
I
being
mean,
fun. Okay, I
He
can
guess
see
it
looked
it.
does. It's
very
just like
he looked very smooth in all the games.
right. But then try and think of Snorlax with just like leathery dry skin. That's not any better, I guess.
No, no, I wouldn't like that. So some fur is a little bit better than that.
um,
Ugh,
no, it was interesting.
it gave
It
me
was interesting.
goosebumps just thinking about that.
um, yeah, I mean, if you like Pokemon at all, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Last thing I have to talk about is I've been watching Doom Patrol, um, which it was a DC Universe exclusive, but they moved it over to HBO Max. Um, and just like I was watching the first season, and then they're like, "Oh, season two's coming on the 25th." I was like, "Oh, sweet." I'm gonna. I have finished finished the first season and started the second season now. So, um, and that is a weird show. It's very comic book. Um, it's enjoyable. It's fun to watch. I marginally better than like the CW DC shows if you've ever watched any of those. But it's also like R-rated comic book show, which I always like seeing the more like, oh, this is what superheroes would actually deal with in real life.
Mm, yeah.
Like the heads exploding and that kind of thing. Um,
Ah.
I did not know the cast of this show before going into it. Um, so that was kind of cool. Like Timothy Dalton is like the team's Professor X character. Um, Matt Bomer is one of the one of the team members, and Brendan Fraser is another one. So
Timothy Dalton
it's a
and
weird,
Brendan Fraser.
yeah, it's a weird cast, but um, no, it's a fun show.
That
Like,
is
and just
weird.
to give you a sense of how weird it is, like, what other show has a main or at least recurring character is a sentient teleporting street block named Danny?
Sounds like one of the
Can't
books
think of
John would read.
any.
It's very out there, but it's fun to watch if you're into that kind of thing, I guess.
That pops up on HBO Max, like just as a recommended
Mhm.
viewing for me. And I'm just like, man, this looks dumb.
It's dumb, but
It looks real dumb. Like, but it keeps trying to get me to watch it, so I might check it out. Like
like it's
eventually.
good. Yeah, it took me a couple episodes. I just thought, man, this is dumb. This is a weird show, but it grew on me. So yeah, if you have the time, check it out. Um, that's about all I've had time for this week.
Nice.
Jeremiah, what about you?
Um, I also figured out that I have HBO Max now.
You
Uh,
found out, or
I found
you did
out.
it on
No, I
purpose?
found out because what was it? 3 months ago, I went ahead and got AT&T fiber, right?
Oh
Like,
yes, yeah, I saw
um,
AT&T's offering it.
yeah. So like, I didn't know that was part of the package deal, but like they sent me an email a couple of weeks or 2 weeks ago, and they were just like, "Here's your HBO Max stuff," and I was like, "What?" And I clicked on it and like signed in with AT&T, and it was like, "Here's all the shit," and I'm like, "Cool, I got HBO Max." Um, I haven't like I have filled out my list of things to watch that I have wanted to watch on HBO for a long time.
Mhm,
God knows when I'm going to get to it because like stuff like Ballers is on there, and Doom Troll's one of them, and like some of the DC shows and just some of the HBO shows where I'm like I need to watch these again or for the first time. Couldn't even tell you what's on my list right now, but it's daunting all of a sudden because I have a whole new swath of things.
mhm,
And they got Cartoon Network stuff on there too. I can go and watch like Dexter's Lab and shit.
mhm.
Ooh, ooh, girl. You can get me on that Dexter's Lab. They don't have Johnny Bravo though, and that's really disappointing.
Oh, they don't? I meant to look
Mm,
for that.
no,
You
they
can't
don't.
you
That
can't
was
have Johnny Bravo in today's
I
environment.
want Johnny
Not
Bravo
allowed
though.
to have him
Johnny
anymore.
Bravo's amazing. Um,
He's not welcome.
don't tear down our history. Give me Johnny Bravo. um, Yeah, what's something else that was on there? Oh, they have like an Adult Swim section too, and like one of the things I saw on there was like Space Ghost Coast to Coast
Yep,
and
that's on my
Aquafina.
list.
I love Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
I'll tell you what though, not being a teenager up at 1 in the morning watching Space Ghost Coast to Coast,
You weren't
it
living your best life if you
it
weren't.
I'll tell you what, watching it now though, it hits a little different. It
Does it?
it you feel weird watching it now. Like, it was
Uh,
hilarious as a teenager. Now it's just kinda like, "Oh, shit, I should be high." It just
oh, so what
doesn't
you're
work.
saying is I should get high before I. All right,
Yes, you
cool.
should,
I'll keep that in
because
mind.
watching it stone cold sober
And
at
wait
3
until
PM doesn't work.
oh, no, yeah, and then you gotta wait till 1 in the morning to watch it.
Yeah, if you're not watching it like after midnight, it's weird. Like you can't watch it in the middle of the day. That's not a
Maybe I'll
middle of the
watch
day
it.
show.
I'll probably watch it when we're done here.
What we should do is we should just get drunk together and watch it together. Like, how about that? Like that.
I'm down for that.
Let's watch some Space Coast Coast to Coast.
Living our best life.
Oh my god! Like I can't wait till quarantine's over. I guess we would have to like Discord us getting drunk, huh?
Yeah.
I hate plagues. Anyway, I, I didn't really watch anything on HBO Max. I just know I have it now. But what I did find, and I wanted to tell you, I don't know if it's still a thing, but I saw online that EA Origins for the PS4 or Xbox for the first month is $1.
Mhm.
$1. I was like,
$1 pair.
fuck it, I'll pay $1 to see what they got. And one of the games they put on there was Need for Speed Heat, which is the newest Need for Speed. And I've been waiting to play that game on sale, and it's been like 40 or 60 bucks. I'm like, it's not worth 40 or 60 bucks, but I'll be damned if it ain't worth $1. So I've been playing that over the weekend. Need for Speed Heat. It's basically Fast and Furious the game, if that makes sense. Like,
Mhm.
it's set in, I don't know, the Palm City or whatever the hell they call the imaginary city. It's basically on the coast. It's kind of like Miami, or it's got that vibe to it. All the music is like Spanish hip hop. So, like when you watch Fast and Furious movies and they have the obligatory, hey, here's the girls in bikini scene, the music that's playing during that,
Yeah.
that's the entire soundtrack for this game. It has an interesting use of neon colors in the game, like for directional GPS and crap like that. But yeah, I mean, like it seems like Need for Speed is kind of turning into like the Maddens and shit of the world. It's just like, yeah, let's pump another one out and people will buy it. Who cares, kind of thing. And it's kind of disappointing because Need for Speed I used to love, and I'm seeing like, like this one feels a little grindy. There's no like microtransactions that I can see in this one, which is nice. But it's just like you have to make money to upgrade your car and you have to make reputation points to get further in the story, or get new events that for your upgraded car, but they split it in two. So like you can only make money during the day and you can only get reputation points during the night. And you can switch between either or, but you can't like double up on races. So you have to do two completely different races for something that was just one race in the previous games. Is like, oh, you make rep and money when you win this race. No, no, you just make money during the day and rep during the night. And cop
Mm.
chases are only at night. Like cops don't give a shit about you during the day. So it's kind of weird. It kind of segments the game and it kind of splits it up and it makes it longer for no reason. Which I'm like, why can't I just like drive around and go to the races and not have to like switch to different styles? Whatever. I mean, that's how they wanted to do it to make the game longer, I guess. But still fun. Like I'm driving around in an M3 and having fun with it. It definitely puts an emphasis on drifting. Um, like to get around corners and stuff. Like you have to let off the acceleration and then smash it again, and it throws the back end of your car out. And that's kind of how you get around corners. You don't do it like a normal racer would, by like braking and then turning and then accelerating. Like you're supposed to be full throttle the entire time, which is Need for Speed, but just with the added element of, hey, now it's more focused on drifting during normal races,
Mhm.
which it is what it is. But I'm having fun with it. Like, yeah, I can't bitch. I got it for $1. you know. The other game I downloaded over the weekend and started playing today because I haven't played one in forever. Madden is on EA Origins or Access or whatever the hell it's called. Um, I haven't played Madden in forever. So the first thing I did was go to see what the hell all the hubbub was about in the Ultimate Team, um, Ultimate Team mode, Madden Mutt as they call it. It is basically a mobile game. Like you do challenges and you earn currency, and then you buy card packs with said currency, or you can pay to just buy card packs with real life money. And yeah, that's okay, I guess. It wasn't anything that kept my attention for more than 30 minutes, but I guess it makes a lot of people really happy. Like there's a whole bunch of different shit in there, and different challenges. So there's plenty in there to be like, yeah, no, like I'm gonna build up funds to, or I'm gonna grind out new characters or new teammates. But I don't know. So then I went into the franchise mode, like the face of a franchise mode, excuse me, and I made a character, which all the character models look hideous in this game, especially the created characters. And
Mhm.
it's like, oh god. So like my dude looks like a zombie, but you don't get to pick what position your character will play. It's automatically you are the quarterback. The end. Um, and that has like a little story to go around it, uh, for your character to go through, kind of like the NBA games have been doing for a while and sports games in general. Uh, and I'm already annoyed with it, but I'm gonna try it again after we get off of here because basically the first game it throws you into is a NCAA game, and you kind of get to pick which team you are and which team you're going to play against. And I'm like, all right, well, like it gives you a list. It's like any of these college teams. So I picked USC, and I was like, yeah, I'll be from California. I don't care. And it threw me in there. In the first game, super easy to win. My dude, who apparently hadn't done a snap or like played a game since high school. I was able to like throw three touchdown passes and like have a bunch of yards. I'm like, all right, cool. Like maybe this game's being easy for me. And then there's a huge difficulty spike for the next game where it's like, all right, all my players are dropping passes and it feels artificial and it's like really upsetting me because it's like I want to win this game, so I keep restarting the game. Like, no, I'm gonna fucking win this game. And it seems like every time I get close, like the computer goes, nope, just gonna not get tackled this play. It's like fuck. So I don't know if it's an artificial difficulty spike or if it's just like, no, it's gonna go from regular to pro mode or something like that. I don't know. No more tutorial for Jeremiah in this one, but I'll play it a couple more days and see if I actually like it or if I get sick of it, I'll just delete it because I don't need it. And because I was out in Louisville this weekend, visit my dad for Father's Day because I couldn't visit him last weekend. While I was in the car, was binging Flightless flicks. So I was listening to Austin's podcast with Sean, and like I wanted, like it's weird because I'm used to being able to interject with opinions when I'm talking to Austin. So like just listening to him, I wasn't able to do it, and I was just like,
That was
this is
intentional.
weird.
That was extremely intentional.
This is weird, but no, it's great.
Jeremiah's gonna have some things to say about this.
He's already had things to say. He's already added me on Twitter.
I saw that.
Yeah, like, well, shut up. You said tweet at us if we got it wrong, and I wanted to let you know you did.
I'm
But
still not convinced, but all right.
it says it in the scene. But no, it's a great show. I'm actually really proud of you, man. Like it's a fun listen to. I gotten to listen to like one of the episodes, I think the first episode you put out, and I didn't really get a chance to listen to anything else. So the ones I was able to listen to this weekend was the Osmosis Joan episode. Got that out of the way. Which was weird because, like you said, the audio was a little messed up in that
Yeah,
one. I listened to the volcano episode, which
that was a fun one.
I like that movie. I like I don't know why people don't like Volcano. And then you're like, the critics said this bad. I'm like, they're wrong. But I need to go back and watch that movie. And then I re-listened to the episode we did, the one I was on, because I remember that being a really fun conversation, and it was because we were cracking up the entire time, and it was making me laugh while I was doing my exercises. So I think what I'm going to try and do now is like whenever it releases, whenever you say, "Hey, this is the next episode we're doing," I'm gonna try and watch a movie like beforehand, and then listen to the episode and see what you guys got to say about it. Because like, there's a lot of movies on there I would never watch, like
Yeah, I mean,
Hunter, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. You guys did that episode.
You haven't seen that?
I haven't seen it, so it's like fuck it, I'll watch whatever they throw out there.
Yeah,
so.
we highly recommend that you watch it before you listen to the episode, just because we go pretty in depth with like production and plot. So like, if you haven't seen it in many years, you might not remember a lot of what we're talking about. So it's highly recommended that you watch the movie that we're covering, so you can get the